in here early. Game 2, less than a half hour away. Delighted that you're with us. Welcome to Denver. Stephen A. Smith, Michael Wilbon, Jalen Rose. I'm Mike Greenberg. No time to waste. Let's get right to it. And immediately our opening tip are the Kia keys to the game. Brought to you by Kia. Behind the dynamic duo of Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. The Nuggets won by 11 in Game 1. That tandem scoring or assisting on 87 of the team's 104 points. They both had at least 10 assists. The first duo to do that in an NBA Finals game since Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. So, Stephen A., let's talk about what you do up against the Joker. You have to pick your poison. He's either going to beat you scoring or he's going to try and beat you by getting everyone involved. What should the Heat strategy be with that tonight?
Let him score. Let him score. What you got to do is you got to key on everybody else. You got to make sure that Jamal Murray doesn't get off, that Aaron Gordon doesn't get off, that Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Michael Porter Jr. do not get off. Remember, the Miami Heat have struggled throughout this postseason defending inside the arc from two-point range. You look at what they've given up. It's like 57% shooting from inside the arc. You look at an Aaron Gordon, 7 of 9 shooting from the field and from inside the arc. Jokic, 7 of 10. Jamal Murray, 9 of 15. Jokic is going to do what he's going to do offensively, but he scored 53 points in a postseason game that they lost this postseason. You neutralize his ability to help others, you should be all right.
You like that strategy, Michael Wilbon?
Yeah, but he can do both. Yes, Stephen A.'s right. We've seen him lose a 50-point scoring game in this postseason to the Suns. But he can also get you 40 and 11. And then what? He can do both. It's difficult to keep him from doing that. So I'm putting the onus on Miami here to make him play defensively. Perhaps try to get him in foul trouble. Get some exercise in there with Kevin Love in that starting lineup and go at Nikola Jokic that way. Foul trouble, maybe make him a tiny little bit tired, but do something other than sit around and watch him work.
Jalen, I like the way the question is phrased on our screen. Which is the lesser? Are you going to let Jokic eat or are you going to let him
You don't work, you can't eat. You don't grind, you can't shine. And in that 50-point game, guess what? He had 11 assists, too. And I want to show you guys how he's been picking teams apart, in particular the Miami Heat in Game 1. So if you decide that you want him to serve, there's Aaron Gordon getting field goals and getting confidence early. There's Jamal Murray, who, by the way, had 10 assists as well, hanging on the rim. Here's Aaron Gordon again against Gabe Vincent. Basically, these are like body blows to your shooters. That's how they end up being 2 for 23, because you're attacking them in the paint. So, again, I agree, overarching, you want him to look to score, but you got to force him to play defense. And that's one of the things Kevin Love being in the starting lineup. As a screener in particular in pick and pop situations, they're going to try to get the Joker involved in defensively.
One big advantage Denver clearly took advantage of in Game 1 was their size. They had a major size advantage, which brings us to Adrian Wojnarowski, our senior insider, with the very latest on a lineup change we will see from Miami tonight to try to counter that. Woj.
Greeny, Kevin Love's going to replace Caleb Martin in the starting lineup for the Miami Heat. And Martin made just 1 shot in Game 1. He's been suffering from an illness. He'll be available tonight. He'll come off the bench for Miami, but a big spot for Kevin Love at 34 years old. He came over to Miami after a contract buyout with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they'll need him to make some shots tonight against this high-octane Denver offense. But Tyler Herro will not be available for the Miami Heat tonight. He's been out since Game 1 of the first round in the Eastern Conference semifinals after fracturing that right hand. He's getting closer, though. Started contact practice work here in Denver. Now Tyler Herro has 3 days to prepare for a possible return in Game 3 in Miami. I think there's a lot more confidence around this Miami organization that they can get Tyler Herro back as soon as Game 3 now.
All right, well done, Woj. Thank you very much. Jalen, you saw something there just very quickly. You're shaking your head.
Well, it's not going to be him shooting. It's going to be him bracing himself when he falls. Take it from somebody that has a plate and 5 screws in his hand. It's one thing for people slapping at it. It's another thing to brace yourself when you're doing an athletic move.
We'll see. We will not see Herro tonight, but we will see Kevin Love. Remember, he does have championship experience. Another player that we'll see tonight will be Michael Porter Jr., and it's time now to see who's delivering looks, which is brought to you by DoorDash. Gentlemen, Stephen A., I'll start with you wearing the lavender tonight. What do you think of the look that Michael Porter is delivering?
Well, I mean, it's all right. I mean, it's nothing spectacular. It's the NBA Finals. A suit of that color with a tie, you know, a pocket square, that would have worked better, but he doesn't look bad. I mean, I'm just saying, but it's the Finals. You upgrade the wardrobe.
Hey, the man outfit is his shades because his future's so bright with this future championship ring.
We'll be right back.
NBA all the way to the NBA Finals. Bam Adebayo is second in Miami history in 20-point, 10-rebound playoff game, second only to LeBron James.
How the hell you get in the Hall of Fame being down that low?
I'm higher than Jimmy Butler and Alonzo Mourning and Chris Bosh.
Hey, y'all tied.
Tied, actually, but
Four,
he did it
4,
in
5,
2
6,
He
7.
did it 2 years, right?
Yes, 2 years.
he wasn't there very long.
How you get in the Hall of Fame being that low on the list?
I don't know.
You know, Shaq, people are always trying to pick apart what Bam Adebayo should be offensively. Should he be a scorer? Should he more of a complimentary player? Should he be a facilitator from the high post? If the Miami Heat are going to win this series, what should he be?
I think he's going to have to do it all at times. You know, it looks bad with him going 13 for 25, but just imagine if Jimmy was the Jimmy in the first round and he had 40, and then Bam would add with his 26, Miami would be up 1-1-0. So I like him being aggressive because you don't want Joker just sitting at the top of the key, picking you apart, you know, scoring at will, doing all the things that he's doing. You're going to have to make him play some defense. So the fact that they're starting Kevin Love, that's going to bring him away from the basket, but he should be aggressive. So I would like to continue to see him be aggressive. Chuck's going to disagree with me and say that's too many shots. But again, imagine Jimmy having 35 or 40 with 26 as his addition.
Couple things. I actually think that the matchup is going to be very interesting, how they play Kevin and Bam. Who's going to guard Joker? Who's going to guard Aaron Gordon? I think that's going to be a nice little chess match. But I just think 25 shots too many for Bam. I mean, he is a heck of a player, but 25 shots, first of all, if you have 25 shots, you got to have 35 points, in my opinion. I don't like that ratio. You got to have more points if you're going to take 25 shots.
Well, I agree with both of you in a way. I mean, first of all, he's got to be aggressive. Now, he was 13 for 25 from the field, 7 for 14 outside of the paint, 5 for 5 from the mid-range. He was 1 for 5 at the rim.
Right.
So usually high percentage at the rim. He's got to be more efficient. If he's hitting those shots at the rim and still shoots from the perimeter like that, then he can have a good game. I also think, though, he would have had a triple-double. He had 26, 13, and 5. If some of his teammates made some open shots, he could have been flirting with the triple-double. So both of you are right. He's got to be efficient, but he also has to be aggressive.
It was interesting, the Denver defense against Bam as well, though. Joker was sagging off of him and dropped coverage. He was content to let him take those mid-range jumpers. Is that a wedding ring? That is a wedding ring. Wow, on the shoe. Right. Joker's all in tonight for Game 2. The Commissioner, Adam Silver, is standing by. He'll join us next here in Denver. On the floor here at Ball Arena, it is great to have you with us. Once again, I'm Matt Weiner here with the Hall of Famers, 4-time champion Shaquille O'Neal, Grant Hill, Charles Barkley right over there. Miami needs to make adjustments tonight and may need to think about who they're going to play and how much. And for more on that, let's take it backstage. Well, we'll get to Jared in a moment. First, we do have some pressing business, and that has to do with you and Shaq. It's the countdown to Game 2, which is coming in about 2 hours' time. But that's not the most important clock to some of us here on the set. The vacation clock is in play.
Oh, yeah.
Just under 6 hours for the two of you.
6 hours? I tell you what, man.
That's an estimate.
That's okay. We know this is the last time I'm going to be working. So, big fella.
I just want to say, Chuck, I'm not going to miss you.
I'll
call you once a month just to check in. You know I love you.
No, they're buying people out when you work with a damn fool now.
You're right. You're the big brother that I never had. And it's going to be a great vacation. But, you know, I don't stop, Greg. You know, I still got stuff to do.
You like to do stuff all the time.
Hey, man, got to work, brother.
Well, Matt, what about us?
Well, Grant has like 15 jobs, so he has no vacation.
We got to keep going?
I keep working.
Okay.
No, you're done, too. Matt's got to keep going.
I'll be 6 and 7, Game 6 and 7.
Hey, let me tell you something. If there's a 6 and 7, I might meet you back here because there ain't gonna be no 6 and 7.
All right, let's take you backstage to Jared Greenberg, who has an update on the Miami Heat and personnel tonight for Game 2. Jared.
All right, Matt, within the next 15 minutes, we expect Tyler Herro to be on the game court, warming up just as he did before Game 1. But also, like Game 1, Tyler Herro has officially been ruled out of tonight's game as he continues to recover from right hand surgery. I have been told by people who were in the building yesterday that Tyler Herro was a full participant in Heat practice. He looked, quote unquote, amazing, and did everything he normally would do to get ready for a game. They're just not ready to put him in. He is expected to make his return to the lineup for the first time in nearly 2 months, Wednesday for Game 3 back in Miami. The Heat will have Caleb Martin available tonight. He's been battling an illness. However, I have learned within the last hour that Miami is expected to make a lineup change, going back to the lineup they rode throughout most of the NBA playoffs, going big with Kevin Love back in at the starting power forward position, Matt.
Wow, Jared, that is big news. Kevin Love has been a DNP the last 3 games of the playoffs, going back to the Boston series and here in Game 1. Shaq, what do you think this means for Miami tonight?
I mean, to give him a little bit more size. He has a stretch 4, you know, what they call. He can go out and, you know, if the Joker's ever going to switch to him, keep him away from the basket because he is a threat from the 3. But you know, I'm still anxious to see how they're going to defend the Joker. What are they going to do? There's some good things they did in that fourth quarter. They're probably going to capitalize off that. But like you said, Matt, it's a tall order, and we'll see if this works. But I don't think they should double right away. I think they should mix it up, you know, make Joker score 4 or 5 backers in a row, get 10 points. You don't want him to pick you apart because Joker's one of us. He's going to get his 27. He's going to get his 27 aggressively or non-aggressively, but you don't want to let him get the others involved early, especially here at home. So I'm anxious to see how they play him tonight.
As for Kevin Love, he's become almost exclusively a 3-point shooter since he arrived.